Black Elk Peak is the highest natural point in South Dakota. It lies in the Black Elk Wilderness area in southern Pennington County, in the Black Hills National Forest. The peak lies 3.7 miles WSW of Mount Rushmore, at 7,242 feet. It has been described by the Board on Geographical Names as the highest summit in the United States east of the Rocky Mountains. It was formerly known as Harney Peak and is known as Hinyankaga. Guadalupe Peak and Sierra Blanca also lie far to the east of the Continental Divide and are substantially higher, but they are located south of the Rockies. The U.S. Board on Geographic Names, which has jurisdiction in federal lands, officially changed the mountain's name from Harney Peak to Black Elk Peak on August 11, 2016, honoring the noted Lakota Sioux medicine man for whom the wilderness area is named. Hinyankaga. This peak was called Hinyankaga by the Lakota Sioux, who dominated this area and were occupying the territory at the time of European encounter. They considered it a sacred site within the sacred Black Hills, which they called Hisapa. The mountain was named Harney Peak in 1855 by American Lieutenant Governor K. Warren in honor of his commander in a regional military expedition, United States General William S. Harney, in punitive retaliation for other Sioux raids. In September 1855, Harney's forces killed Brule Sioux warriors, women and children in what Americans called the Battle of Blue Water Creek in Garden County, Nebraska. Harney later commanded the United States military in the Black Hills area in the late 1870s. The Lakota have tried to get the name of the peak changed for 50 years, as Harney had massacred the people. In 2014, the Sioux renewed their effort to get the name changed, in an effort led by Basil Braveheart of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, a Korean War veteran. He felt that Harney had not honored the military with his action. Some Lakota requested state officials in 2015 to reinstate their original name Hinyankaga for the peak. The Lakota Council of the Pine Ridge Reservation and descendants of Black Elk, a noted medicine man, supported naming it for him, as the national wilderness area around the peak is named for the shaman. He became known beyond the Lakota in part through the book Black Elk Speaks, written by John G. Neihardt from Long Talks with the Shaman. South Dakota Governor Dennis Daugaard opposed the name change, as did other state officials, and no action was taken in 2015. The U.S. Board on Geographic Names officially changed the mountain's name from Harney Peak to Black Elk Peak on August 11, 2016, by a unanimous vote of 12-0, with one abstention. At this point, the state of South Dakota has not stated whether they will adopt the change in official records. History. Hinyankaga and the Black Hills were protected within the Great Sioux Reservation established by the United States government in the Treaty of Fort Laramie in 1868. It covered most of the territory west of the Missouri River in South Dakota. European American settlement was concentrated east of the river, where there was more water for farming. The first European Americans believed to have reached the summit were a party led by General George Armstrong Custer in 1874. During the Black Hills expedition, he was looking for gold. The federal government took back the Black Hills and another strip of land in a new treaty in 1877. It later broke up the Great Sioux Reservation into 5 smaller reservations in 1889, the same year that North Dakota and South Dakota were admitted as states to the Union. It made some 9 million acres of former Lakota land available for purchase for ranching and homesteading. Most European American settlement in West River did not start until the early 20th century. Black Elk Peak is the site where Black Elk received his great vision when 9 years old. He later became a medicine man known for his wisdom. Late in life, he returned to the peak accompanied by writer John Neihardt. Black Elk was sharing much of his life and philosophy with Neihardt through long talks translated by his son. Neihardt tried to express the medicine man's wisdom in his book Black Elk Speaks. Neihardt recorded Black Elk's words regarding his vision as a child as follows: "I was standing on the highest mountain of them all, and round about beneath me was the whole hoop of the world." He is quoted as saying, "And while I stood there I saw more than I can tell, and I understood more than I saw, for I was seeing in a sacred manner the shapes of all things, in the spirit, and the shape of all shapes as they must live together like one being." European American settlers used Black Elk Peak as a fire lookout tower in 1911, with a wood crate placed at the summit for a seat. In 1920, a 12x12 wood structure was built, and it was expanded to 16x16 the following year. The Federal Civilian Conservation Corps enlisted local men and completed construction on a stone fire tower in 1938, one of numerous projects in the state during the Great Depression. The Harney Peak Fire Tower was last staffed in 1967. A United States post office was operated at Harney Peak from 1936 until 1942, and again from 1945 until 1946. The Harney Creek Post Office was reportedly one of the most elevated post offices in the United States. In May 2015, the South Dakota Board of Geographic Names recommended renaming Harney Peak as Hinyankaga, to remove the name of a commander known for massacring Sioux women and children at the Battle of Blue Water Creek and to honor the original Lakota name for the mountain. At the end of the following month, the board reversed the recommendation that the peak be renamed, stating that there was no public consensus on a new name. The Lakota were divided on a preferred name, and Republican Governor Dennis Daugaard and some other European Americans opposed any name change. The recommendation for renaming went to the federal U.S. Board on Geographic Names. The federal board acknowledged that the name was of concern to the Lakota, and its spokesman said, "In this case, the board felt that the name was derogatory or offensive, being that it was on a holy site of the Native Americans." Quote, in a decision published August 11, 2016, the United States Board on Geographic Names adopted the name Black Elk Peak. Hiking. The summit can be reached from Sylvan Lake, Camp Remington, Highway 244, Palmer Creek Road, Mount Rushmore, or Horse Thief Lake. For the trailhead at Sylvan Lake in Custer State Park to the summit and back is about 7 miles. This is the shortest, least strenuous, and most popular route. No permit is required for use of the first portion of the trail. However, the United States Forest Service requires hikers to obtain a permit at a self-service kiosk located at the entrance to the Black Elk Wilderness area en route to the summit. An old stone tower, once used as a fire lookout tower, is located at the summit. The ashes of Valentine McGillicuddy were interred near the base of the tower, and a plaque reads, "Valentine McGillicuddy, Wasikuwakan." Wasikuwakan is Lakota for "holy white man." Note that Owakan is commonly spelled Wakan in most Lakota societies. Gallery.